Hi, everybody. So many of us know that Leonardo DiCaprio dates mostly women under the age of 25. Let's see if numerology can tell us why that is. So I'm Lori. I'm an intuitive numerologist, and on this channel, I share many secrets of numerology. Let's see if Leo's numerology reveals any secrets today. So I'm going to share with you a chart that I drew up for Leonardo DiCaprio. I know his name is very long. It's Leonardo Wilhelm DiCaprio, and it comes across the whole eraser board. So if you want to take a picture of this, take a screenshot of this, and then this way, let's see if I can do this a little bit better. That's it. If I lean back some, you can get the whole picture in. So it includes his pinnacles and challenges. It includes all of the five core numbers, which are the destiny number, the life path number, the maturity number, the personality number, and I believe there's one more. So anyway, take a look at these and see if you want to take a screenshot. And otherwise, I will go through everything with you so that you're kind of aware of what's happening. So the three is the soul path number that we see, and we get that by calculating the vowels in his name going across. So in this case, the vowel numbers are E, A, and O in the first name, and that leads up to an 18. It calculates to an 18, and the 8 plus 1 equals 9. The Wilhelm gives us the I and the E. That leads to 14. The 4 plus the 1 equals 5. And in DiCaprio, we get the 9, the 1, the 9, and the 6, which add up to 25, and 5 plus 2 equals 7. So then we have a 7, a 5, and a 9, and they add up to 21. So the 2 plus the 1 equals 3. So that's how we're calculating a soul number, just so that you know. The soul is who he wants to be. That's about expression. It's about joy of living. It's about joy in living life, which is really intensely wonderful. But why isn't Leo able to get there? I don't feel that in him all the time. I know that that's who he wants to be. Um, his 11 destiny number and his 7 life path number seem to get in his way quite a bit, actually. So the destiny number is calculated by adding up all of the numbers all together. So we had a 3 plus a 1 plus a 3, and that equaled 11. And the reason I got to 3 was all of his numbers in his first name added to 39. 3 plus the 9 equals 12, 2 plus 1 equals 3, and so on throughout the calculations. So yeah, his destiny number is 11, which is a master number. So interesting when I think about that, I think, is he working the master number as a master, or which is basically a very spiritual existence? I don't necessarily see that all the time with Leo. I think sometimes he gets in his own way and he's working that master number with shadows involved. So let's talk about that a little bit. Um, it shows some anxiety, very possible. It shows some self-doubt, shows high sensitivity, and it shows a fear of failure and indecision. That's interesting. If I would suggest that if Leonardo DiCaprio is feeling some fear of failure, wow, take a look at the movies that he's done. He's done some beautiful, and again, these movies are the expression that his heart desires, which is a pretty amazing. One of the ones that comes to my mind, oh, began with an I, indecision, but it was so moving, and it took you to different timelines. It was just an amazing movie, and I just think that a very talented actor would be able to handle this. I don't know. That's my opinion. The 7 life path, which is made up of the birth date that we saw on the chart on the eraser board, 11/11/1974, And that adds up to a 43 all the way across. And the reason that I get that is because I add up master numbers by themselves. So 11 plus 11 equals 22. And then the 1974, all of it, all across came to 43. So the 4 plus 3 equals 7. He has a 7 life path. The 7 life path contrasts with the 11 destiny number. It brings in many of the symptoms that we talked about, which tells me that if he would just sort of get out of his own way, he might be able to deal with the destiny number and maybe as he matures, he's getting there. So the maturity number is I'm gonna look it up, is a 9. So that 9 is indicative of endings, of casting aside what does not serve you anymore. That would be so wonderful for Leo. Um, so the 7, all right, let's see if I can get back to some of this. The 7 life path contrasts with the 11 destiny, bringing in many of these symptoms. It stands to reason that dating women that are younger than him gives Leo a sense of feeling bigger and better about himself, which is kind of typical of somebody who dates kind of below themselves, not even so much below themselves, but just for a younger person, instead of dealing with somebody who is on your own level, so to speak. Um, the truth is that he should see himself as a successful person that we see in order to rise above the baser instincts of the 11, which can be the 2 if you add the 1 and the 1 together. But I feel like what he's dealing with are more shadow aspects of the 11. Um, until he understands the joy he brings to others and gets out of his own way. Yeah, we just talked about that. If he gets out of his own way, this could be a wonderful situation for Leonardo DiCaprio. Um, we don't know if he'll ever be happy in his personal life or relationships without doing that. So let's take a look at those pentacles and challenges, which I put on the bottom of the board. And if you look across the person the top, the first pinnacle was a 4. The second one is a 5. The third is a 9, and the fifth is the fourth rather is a 5, which based on the calculations of his life path and the age that he is, which is 51, he's somewhere in that fourth pinnacle, and that will go on throughout his life. So he's got a 5 pinnacle and he's got an 8 challenge, which means that he's got a lot of change happening in his life. He's got a lot of he could be traveling quite a bit. That's an interesting possibility with a 5. The 5 is about adventure. It's about doing things new and different a lot of times. The 8, where it is though, tells me that he suffers sometimes from a lack of feeling powerful and in control of his situation. That's the 8 is about power, control, it's about business, it's about finances. So he's got it all if he lets himself. And the challenge in that is allowing yourself to let go, just like allowing that to happen in your life. And he fights that quite often. Um, his pinnacles and challenges show that he has a 5 pinnacle and an 8 challenge. This reveals that he experiences change on a regular basis. Um, this might be why he has a new partner in his life all the time, because that's part of a 5 in your life, in your core numbers or in your pinnacles, is that constant change. Makes kind of sense if you ask me. Um, he recognizes the pattern. And once he recognizes this pattern and changes the habit, he might be able to just, even if it's a 25-year-old woman, he might have one person in his life for a length of time, maybe through his lifetime, which is pretty, we all wish that for each other, I think. The 8 challenge reveals that he struggles with 8 aspects. So we talked about this, the power, the finances, the business, the control, but it's in his life. to figure out, and it has been there for the last three challenges. So if you look at that chart that I showed you, he's had a challenge of an eight. So the beauty, I wouldn't say beauty. I would say the fact that he has had that challenge in his life for three challenges means that as he has matured, he's starting to get it. He understands that he can't continue to give his power away, which is what it feels like he's doing with the numbers that are in place in this chart. It feels like he's giving his power away. I hope he stops giving it away, and I hope that he keeps his power, his money, and he learns to concentrate on himself. That's a big part of this, is that what happens is that he is concentrating so much on being there for someone else. I can't say it's a family well, it is a family situation, but he doesn't have children. And he has opted not to have children. From what I understand, he's opted not to have children because of the environment. Makes perfect sense to me. That's a good decision to make. Um, but I think that if Leonardo DiCaprio really wants to be successful in his life, he would learn to embrace the lessons of all the different numbers that he has, and they are quite intense. He's got that 11 master energy. He's got the seven life path energy, which is about research and analytics, and it's about, but he does crave time alone. Is there time alone in between these with the women that he dates? I'm not sure. Does he allow for alone time in his relationships? I'm not sure. But anyway, it's been quite interesting checking out Leonardo DiCaprio's life. I hope to have a little bit more for you as I study some more and I calculate some more. But I'm hoping that this has been enlightening to you as much as it has been to me. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care.